The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Film Jitsu, the podcast that wields films like deadly weapons. We are your hosts. I am Mike.
And I am Jay.
On this week's episode of Film Jitsu, Jason had to take the very long walk into the Kevin Costner starring, Kevin Costner directed, Kevin Costner owes him an apology for 1997's The Postman. We're also going to do our bottom 5 movie jobs. We're also going to do a quick round of Pick 2, Kick 2 before we get into what film I have to watch for our upcoming episode. But before all that, Jay, let's go ahead and roll the trailer for The Postman, which I can only assume is like a 20-minute trailer.
That you made the same exact joke I was going to make.
Oh, good. That's great.
In the future, after the Great War, our civilization lies in ruin. Government does not exist. Technology has been erased. And everything man remembers is gone. Out of the chaos, a lawless army will arise to prey on the few survivors. But to a people who have lost their hope.
You are a dangerous man. I can see it in your eyes.
He will give them courage.
I have a feeling about you.
He will restore their memories of the past.
It's the individual that counts.
Kevin Costner, Academy Award-winning director of Dances with Wolves, brings you an epic new vision of our future.
There's gonna be new laws. There's gonna be peace.
Jason, some films come and go and for whatever reason, don't leave a mark. Some movies stick in our cultural consciousness forever. They become memes, they become jokes, we quote them, sometimes because they're so unbelievably good we can't forget them, sometimes because they're so unbelievably bad we can't let them go. And others just sort of poof into a puff of smoke. And that is something that I'm interested in talking about because, for my money, there's almost no better example of that kind of thing than Kevin Costner's 1997 film, The Postman, about a post-apocalyptic world and a fellow who just decides he's going to be the mailman. I've never seen it, or maybe I started it and I'm still watching it. I know I said before, and I feel really bad about it. This movie is almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Not part of the punishment. Just some unintended consequences of me being a dick, I guess. But you nonetheless stepped up to the plate. So I want to start there. Help me understand, why is it that a film this big just kind of went up in a puff of post-apocalyptic smoke?
Because it's boring and bland.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole goddamn thing. It's representative of all the worst tendencies of the 1990s. So it is overblown. It's bloated. It's a vanity project. It's not a particularly engaging screenplay with a particularly engaging hero. Everything about this is forgettable. So it's a great way to start talking about this movie. And when I say it is a great example of the worst tendencies of the 90s, I think the worst things that the 90s did with film is it never trusted its audience to get the point, which is particularly ironic for a movie called The Postman, because it did not trust its audience at all to get its message. It is so manipulative, so overwritten, and it's incredibly fucking long and boring. This is such a fucking shitty movie. It's actually infuriating. Yeah. And it's such a vanity project. Like, it's so embarrassingly vain.
That's Costner's whole career. Like, Dances with Wolves was a vanity project.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I think all of that Yellowstone stuff is a vanity project.
Yeah, he postures himself as a frontierman,
Who does he think he is?
He thinks he's Kevin motherfucking Costner. That's who he thinks he is.
Times seem hard right now, but you gotta believe things are getting better. Birds are migrating again. Rains are back. Stuff's getting better.
If I were to rename the film, I would call it Mad Max Tepid Road.
Yeah.
It's post-apocalyptic cosplay, borrowing aesthetics from Mad Max, but it has no danger. It has no weirdness, but it has a much higher budget. And it's filled with absurdity. Mike, this takes place 30 years after a war has broken out and wiped out most of civilization and all of technology.
Gotcha.
Kevin Costner is a nameless character wandering the countryside who stops in towns and performs Shakespeare with a horse. I'm not making it up.
Uh-huh.
This is how he gets by. He performs Shakespeare for food.
Does the horse ever play like human characters? I want that.
Yes, because the horse actually has a sword fight.
Like, hark, what light over yonder window breaks. There is the east and Juliet is the sun. And then it's just like
This is probably the best part of the film.
Why can he not make a movie without a horse in it? What is this guy's deal?
The West, beige, dust, wide vistas, sunsets, and boring as fuck. Every single thing he works on is lifeless and dull and supposedly masculine.
Right.
It is always cookie cutter as far as characters go. It's always cookie cutter, I feel, in terms of the production design. This movie is so fucking annoying because everybody is running around in rags. Like, what happened to clothes during the war? Did everybody's clothes just get annihilated?
Right.
Like, they're all torn and shredded and stuff. Nothing complete. Everybody is wearing half a scarf or half a shirt and everything's tattered. And I'm like, what the fuck?
When you think of a big 3-hour epic scale kind of movie, you would think it would at least look a certain way. Is the movie interesting visually? You've talked a lot about it being beige and uninteresting, but like,
yeah, right.
Tell me about the camera work at least.
So you get lots of beautiful vistas. There's a shot in a dry lake at the beginning of the thing with a lion that escaped the zoo in the center of it.
The wolves got out?
The wolves got out, my friend.
Gosh.
The lions, but yes.
You got day after tomorrow.
Right at the beginning of the film. You don't even have to wait.
Oh, wow.
It's right at the beginning. Terrible shot. Film's shot by Stephen F. Winden. Honestly, if you look at his career, he's had some good films, but a lot of them are boring. The score was by James Newton Howard. He composes big, lush, technically competent scores that are just emotionally generic. I don't think that anyone involved here had an ounce of passion for anything they were doing. And that's really upsetting, given that were this to have landed in the hands of maybe someone like John McTiernan.
Oh, that's interesting.
Somebody that could do action with character. It could have been good. All of the action scenes are pretty flat. So why not get an action movie director to choreograph this thing and make it exciting?
Like
right?
Rennie Harlan?
There's a Rennie Harlan. I would have, well, I don't know, because he's not great at character either.
He sure isn't.
But I mean, I probably would have taken it because there would have been like cliffhanger, right? Like cliffhanger is you're engaged in cliffhanger. I was not engaged. It's 3 hours long and I wasn't engaged.
If he wishes to rise above mere thuggery, a military commander must be classically educated. Philosophy and history, even a sense of the dramatic.
There's some interesting ideas here with feudal society kind of coming back. So we're in the Middle Ages again, essentially. Right. And so there's this warrior class that's lording over things, led by fucking Will Patton.
I'm on that guy's team.
Oh my God, he's the most boring guy. He's always second in command to someone important in films, right? Usually it's Kevin Costner.
Or often the dickhead cop, the well-meaning but surly cop.
He's so dull. Here he's supposed to play this feudal lord of the future who's intellectual but intimidating. He is not intimidating. He doesn't project any level of real malice aside through his actions. He does, but not when you see him deliver lines or anything. He can't penetrate this character. He can't get into it. And the funniest thing is, at one point, he's having a conversation with Costner, man to man, and he tells him what he did before the war. He was a copy machine salesman. And I was like, that is Will Patton. That is the role.
He's such an incredibly boring actor because usually the characters he plays are the man of few words, and he just sort of like grumbles and glowers and at everything. And he's always just sort of like cranky, which isn't a main character at all. It's fine if he's like the jerk partner of the other cop in a movie, but that is not the guy that I want to see as the main antagonist in my 3-hour long post-apocalyptic movie. And I don't know what Kevin Costner's obsession is with being boring, because when I took a look at his filmography, did you know this man has never directed a movie any shorter than 2 hours and 20 minutes? Everything. And he hasn't directed a lot of films.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves and this. He did those two unwatchable Horizon movies that the first one was so bad they almost didn't make the second one. But they're like, oh, we said we were going to do it, so we got to. And if I had to guess, it's probably just Kevin Costner made one 5-hour movie that they had to cut in half. This is a hallmark of his career, is like long, dull films.
It's not just him as a director, it's him as an actor too. He played Papa Superman in those Zack Snyder Superman movies, right? And God damn it, he's boring in those too.
Right.
And he's surrounded by beige in them, right? There must be something written into his contract. Whenever he's in a movie, brown, beige, and golden hues have to be surrounding him. The weird thing about this movie is it is a vanity project. The opening act pretends at this level of humility in this character. He's selfish, he's kind of cowardly, he's opportunistic, but his false modesty quickly gives way to noble speeches, like messianic like framings, and then this slow ascension into mythology. So the arc is essentially Dances with Wolves, but in a leather duster. Just aw shucks outsider, accidental leader, and then savior. It's an answer possibly to Braveheart and what Mel Gibson was doing around that time, because it has that flavor of, oh, I have a sense of humor, but I'm dashingly good looking, and look at how manly I am on screen. And what makes you more manly than anything? A romantic subplot. In this one is horrific.
Abby.
Yeah?
Ford wants me to have his place. Said it's the best one.
I'm on the other side.
I got plenty of room here. So much for the uniform theory.
Olivia Williams, who is a fantastic actress. Luckily, she would go on to be in The Sixth Sense as Bruce Willis's wife, and then later in The Crown playing Camilla, of all people. So I guess she's the queen at this point, right?
Yeah.
But in this film, her storyline includes a husband who is made sterile due to some new kind of mumps that happens after the war. And a near immediate decision upon Kevin Costner's arrival in town to sleep with him that's okayed by her husband because he's sterile. So they want to have a kid. So she's like, 2 minutes after he got into town, she's like, hey, did you have the mumps? And he's like, no. She's like, are you syphilitic? No. She's like, do you want to impregnate me? I'm not even kidding.
That's
this
a line in the movie?
Yeah. And there's no moral sort of question in any of this. And then, of course, you have a protracted love scene, which I enjoyed one half of anyway. And then you kind of move on from that for a little while, and then she comes back, and it turns out the husband gets killed by Will Patton, and all this other stuff happens, right? Of course. And of course she's pregnant off the one night that they were together.
Well, yeah, it's Costner seed. I just got pregnant talking about him.
And then they end up kind of on the run together. Costner gets hurt. She has to nurse him back to health. He's super lazy. She burns down a cabin after he's gotten better so that he can't be lazy anymore. And then he says to her, as she's walking away from the burning cabin,
You're really weird. You know that?
that's an actual piece of dialogue in the film. Yeah. Well-written film, this.
Is there any world building around this? Because in a post-apocalyptic world where there's like, I don't know, nuclear mumps or whatever, and children are hard to, you could have like a Children of Men story around with
right.
A movie like this, especially something this long, demands world building.
There's none here. I'm sorry. You've got Will Patton and his band of assholes that come to town and demand their crops.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have enough crops, they start killing people or whatever. It's just, they give them spoons and forks and shit. Like, it is so, Mike, no, there's no world building. Wow. There's no shorthand. This is a terrible script. Mm-hmm. One of the funniest things that happens later on in it is they end up in a place called Bridgetown. This is like once they've sort of started shit with Will Patton and the Postman thing takes off. We haven't even talked about any of that because who the fuck cares, truthfully. But anyway, they end up in this place called Bridgetown, and he meets the mayor of Bridgetown, and he's shaking his hand, and he goes, you know, you look familiar. Were you famous? And it's fucking Tom Petty. And he goes,
oh,
yeah,
what?
I guess you could say that.
Oh, no.
And it was, I thought of you immediately because I went, oh, this takes place in our world.
Oh,
because,
no.
Yes,
so he's playing himself? Tom Petty is playing himself?
Yeah, but he's not named that way, right? But it's clearly a Larry King situation that you would have loved.
Gross. No,
I think he probably wanted Bruce Springsteen, but he ended up with Tom Petty or something like that. The whole idea here is that through ineptitude, through opportunistic thinking, and one small idea of getting yourself out of trouble is birthed an entire movement of individuals that are suddenly also postmen. Because what happens is Kevin Costner's character escapes the Will Patton brigade and ends up in an old mail truck that was abandoned 30 years ago. And there's a corpse in there, and the corpse is shrouded in a mail jacket. And there's letters in there and everything, and he's burning letters to stay warm. And then he takes the mail bag and he has some of these letters that he's read, and he goes to the next town where Olivia Williams is with her cuck husband. And he proceeds to say, I am from the refounded United States. President Starkey has reestablished order in, I think it was Minneapolis is now the capital of the United States.
Okay.
Something like that. He's making all this shit up. But he somehow restores hope with this lie, then disappears with Olivia Williams in the cabin that she burns down, then comes back and there's like 30, 40 other postmen going all over delivering mail. This could be such an interesting film.
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead, it's a boring piece of shit love story that's 3 hours long. Thank you very much, Merrigan.
You're really welcome. Has there ever been a guy in Hollywood that has made a career on a 3-year period any better than this guy has? Because Kevin Costner in 1990, he does Dances with Wolves. 91 is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and JFK. 1992 is The Bodyguard. But we still have to deal with this guy. It is 2026, and this guy is still putting out movies. He's still putting out TV shows where he plays cowboys who don't say much, you know, speak softly and carry a big stick or whatever. I don't know. But he's had this long, prolific career based on this little 3-year period and then just nothing after that.
I think Horizon was birthed out of the success that he had with Yellowstone, which was a bit of a phenomenon.
Right.
And I think that with the combination with him playing Superman's dad really helped out while he was in the 2010s and now in the 2020s. He's back, baby, as you like to say. Yeah. But nobody wants to see him on the big screen. Nobody wants to see him in a 3-hour movie anymore. Nobody wanted to in 1997 either. Good choice, by the way, everyone in 1997. This was well worth ignoring.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, Jason, my hope is that our bottom 5 list is a lot shorter than the Postman, but a lot more interesting. And it seemed to make sense to me with very little that I knew about this movie going in, that we did our bottom 5 movie jobs. The only thing I knew about the Postman was that he was a postman.
Sort
or
of.
Not really a postman, It turns out. I took a little bit of a here and there approach with it. I wanted to do some things that were very specific and other things that were a little bit maybe more general. And so not all of my picks are specific films necessarily. So I thought a little all over the place about it, but I'm curious what your thought process was.
Real straightforward, just jobs that look shitty to me. I almost went with a blowjob. I thought about Chloe Sevigny in Buffalo 66 with Vincent Gallo, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So maybe we can name the list after her.
Yeah.
That is the worst job in cinema, I think, right there.
Sure.
But what I liked about this was I get to talk about some really good movies.
That's excellent.
So with that said, what is your number 5, Mike?
You talked about Buffalo 66. I actually thought of Coyote Ugly. You remember in our Coyote Ugly review, I said maybe the worst job in cinema history is being the person who has to clean up that bar at the end of the night because it's just a disgusting swill-covered nightmare. So that's maybe my tribute list here.
Ah, got it.
My number 5 isn't from a specific film, but it's a job that movies have showed us time and again is one of the worst. I am going with the street cart fruit vendor in any action film.
That's so true.
Worst. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's not gross. It's not especially dangerous, but the economic fuckery associated with some Jason Bourne looking motherfucker smashing his car through your fruit cart is not to be ignored. That's a person's entire livelihood right there. And I'm sure there's no Allstate insurance for international fruit carts where you can just put in a claim, right? Not to mention that even if you wanted to pick 400 pounds of produce up off the sidewalk, now your goddamn cart is smashed to pieces. And meanwhile, Tom Cruise or whoever is already halfway across town on his next massive property damage. The international super spy ruined this person's life. This guy gets to go off and he is 30 minutes away from banging the hottest woman you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our fruit cart vendor has to go home and explain to his kids that they're about to be homeless because guaranteed, if you own a fruit cart in a movie, you are completely and thoroughly screwed. So that's my number 5, a fruit cart street vendor.
It's the fruit cart street vendor. It's the people that stack cardboard boxes. It's the people that walk with a giant pane of glass.
It's a movie that I would like to see made where it just starts with
big chase scene, cold open, and then
a look at what happens to this man's life when his fruit cart has been smashed through in an international chase scene.
Love it. I think that that's a movie that is going to be made at some point, and you're going to have to sue someone for it. Because...
like a Parasite kind of thing, right? Like this really deep dive into the bizarre family dynamics. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's really good. I wish I was that creative. I'm not. My number 5 comes from the film Smile 2 from just back in 2024. The job being a global pop megastar. Yeah, being Lady Gaga actually would really, really suck based on what I've seen in this film. I know that she's not technically Lady Gaga, but Naomi Scott's character lands really uncomfortably close to that mega celebrity stratosphere. Yeah. Constant surveillance, endless pressure, invasive fans, parasitic clingers. And the coup de grace, an unforgiving, hyper-controlling mother who doubles as her manager. And this is all before the smile curse comes into the equation.
Right. That's just her regular life. That's before the supernatural horror show.
That's right. This film is widely noted as a sequel that outperforms the original by sharpening the thematic focus. I agree with that popular consensus. Scott trained extensively for this role's physical demands and mirrors the character's exhaustion. She looks like she is in physical and emotional pain throughout this entire film. What a staggeringly incredible performance. Proof once again that the Oscars can lick a big brown stinky taint, because good God, why can't anyone look into horror to see wonderful performances? This is maybe as bravura a performance as you're ever going to see in a horror film.
Every good thing in my life ends up broken because of me. I hurt everything and everyone I touch. It doesn't matter what happens to me anymore. But I will not let this fucking thing use me to hurt anyone else.
It reminds me of, in the same vein, and I think a great pick, because your first impulse is to say like, oh, a pop star, like poor pop star.
Right.
But it reminds me very much of The Substance with Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. Same kind of thing, like that is showing what a horror it is to be this big public figure.
Right.
And again, maybe the last time it'll be a good long time again that the Oscars paid any attention to a performance in a horror film, because they're out there if you pay attention to them.
Well, we might get Michael B. Jordan for Sinners.
There has to at least be a nomination coming for that performance.
I
know
so.
that he's not going to win. They're going to end up giving it to DiCaprio, or maybe Timothée Chalamet again for this.
What, the Dylan thing? Or is
No,
one of those
Marty
other ones that
Supreme.
Marty Supreme?
No, Marty Supreme, like everybody's over the moon about that performance.
White people.
The kid's good. I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a soldier assigned to a guard tower. My guy, you are a dead man walking. If your job is to stand near a giant spotlight on a guard tower, you are about to get shot in the face and fall over that railing. That is happening to you. Without question, you are step 1 in somebody's big plan to breach that compound. Take out the guards.
Always.
Not the mechanic. Not let's figure out where the mess cook is and make him pay. No. Execute the guy in the guard tower. Does he have a family at home? Most likely. Is it his fault that he got assigned to the guard tower that night? Not even a little. Hell, he's probably not even aware of the bad guy's big plan. And yet we are about to pump this guy's guts full of lead and watch him flip over the railing. His job is to be total dead meat. And so the guard in a watchtower is my number 4 job.
Maybe they just have really good life insurance policies. And they're just up there. I don't know that they would get coverage, honestly. In this economy?
Not in this economy.
My number 4 is an absolute classic film. 1982's Blade Runner. Being a Blade Runner isn't cool.
But you get to tell people you're a Blade Runner, which is like the coolest job title I can ever imagine.
Except
like,
the job
what do you do for a living?
Sucks.
Oh yeah, of course it sucks. Of course the job sucks. But imagine being like, I'm a Blade Runner. Be like, that's badass.
That's badass. And then you explain to them that you're a government sanctioned executioner tasked with hunting down replicants who are often more emotionally alive than the humans who employ you. And the job is conducted in perpetual rain, right? Under flickering neon in a city that feels like it's rotting faster than it can be rebuilt. So Deckard, who's in this film, played by, of course, Harrison Ford, his life is already bleak before the film's central conflict kicks in. Greasy street food dinners, a cramped apartment, no visible friends, no future, and a job that seems to actively hollow him out. Even the terminology, retirement, is a bureaucratic euphemism designed to make murder feel procedural.
Right.
So, yeah, you're paid to erase lives and question your own humanity, without even being sure which side you're on. That sucks, dude.
It does suck.
Yeah.
But imagine being able to sign into LinkedIn and like your job title is Blade Runner. That's so cool.
He gets his ass handed to him like all throughout this movie. His poor fingers. Anyway.
Yeah, that is a really good pick. Well, my number 3, Jason, I admire somebody who has dedicated their entire life to public service. And this is especially true if you've been just and fair. You've put in your time, you've paid your dues. And so there are not many jobs in cinema barreling towards a shit show more than a cop 2 weeks from retirement.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. Get your affairs in order because you're about to have the worst week of your life. International terrorists, bank heists, attracting the unbroken attention of an insane serial killer.
A bomb
it doesn't
in the toilet.
matter. Yeah, whatever it is. If you're a cop 2 weeks before retirement, don't make any other plans because it's coming for you. There's a 50-50 chance you're not the main character, in which case you might as well pick out your coffin because
for sure.
You're toast. If you're 2 weeks from retirement and you're not the main character, you're definitely going to die in that movie. But even if you are the main character, you need to have yourself some life-altering clusterfuck headed your way because it is 100% what's happening.
I keep thinking of Danny Glover. I just can't stop thinking of Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon 2.
Or you're the partner that's only got 2 weeks left to retirement and you get shot in the station or something.
No, I think Edward James Olmos in Predator 2 was one of the characters that was away from just shy of retirement and he gets gutted. There was a movie from France that has this exact thing where the lead character is like a former convict and he has like a nice cop sort of mentor that gets him a job after being in prison and everything and teaches him the right road. And he is just shy of retirement and is brutally murdered in the film. His car is like a key part. It's called Lost Bullet and it's a trilogy. They're pretty fun action films, though. They are pretty cool. They're on Netflix, so you should check them out. But yes, of course, 2 weeks before retirement, you're doomed.
Have you watched all 3 of those movies?
No, just the first one so far, but I do want to see the other 2.
Are they in some still shorter than The Postman?
I think all 3 of them added up are probably about the length of The Postman and feel shorter.
Like a metric Postman, at least?
Yes, that's right. We're measuring films by Postman now.
Yeah, one metric Postman.
Avatar is exactly 1 Postman long.
Oh, that seems like it's got to be 1 1/4 Postmans.
No, it's about 3/4 of a Postman. I think. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Well, my number 3, Mike, is the 2011 film The Grey, starring Liam Neeson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about an oil rig wolf hunter? That's a pretty... I know. Again, sounds amazing, right?
This sounds so cool.
Sounds great. I will say that almost all of my jobs sound great, but are awful.
This says something about you. I don't know what it says about you, but it does say something about you.
Before the plane in The Grey even crashes, Liam Neeson's job already qualifies as what I would see as one of the worst in cinema. He lives in the frozen wilds of northern Alaska as a professional wolf hunter who's tasked with killing these predators to protect essentially a bunch of hostile, hard-drinking oil workers who barely tolerate him. So his days are spent tracking animals, cleaning blood from snow, and returning to lonely motel rooms where the isolation has hollowed him out completely. And in one of the bleakest opening gestures in modern studio cinema, Neeson's character nearly ends his own life with his rifle, only stopping because of a memory of his late wife. Then the plane crashes, and suddenly a man who is ready to die is forced into the absurd position of fighting to survive. What the fuck? This job doesn't just risk your life, it makes you want to give up before the real nightmares even begin. Good God. I do really like this Joe Carnahan directed film. I think it's one of Neeson's best performances. I think that he brings real melancholy and gravitas and true mourning, because this was made shortly after the death of his wife, Natasha Richardson. I think he really mines emotion from that tragedy.
Absolutely. I remember going to see this movie thinking it was going to be a goddamn goof. Like the Liam Neeson fights wolves movie. Yep. And I thought, oh my God, this is just going to be like a dumb action movie. I can't wait to see how stupid this thing is. And then I went and I was like, wait a minute, is this kind of awesome?
This is a meditation on existentialism. And yeah, it is. The poem, the little poem in that film breaks me.
Once more into the fray. Into the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die on this day. Live and die on this day.
From the guy who directed the A-Team movie 11 seconds before it. I was like,
I know.
Where did this come from,
Well,
Joe
you know,
Carnahan?
you take those gigs for the big budget, and then you go make the movies that you care about.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of taking the gigs that you can get, Jason.
Okay.
My number 2 is from a specific film. Yeah, I got there. I told you I had them. How about working for the Foot Clan in a Ninja Turtles movie?
Do you get paid? I've never understood the relationship of henchmen.
No.
But yeah.
Oh my God. But this one especially. Let's just start with your boss, okay? Your boss is a constantly furious pile of razor blades. You think that your boss is bad because they schedule too many meetings and they nitpick every little thing you do. Try working for a constantly furious pile of razor blades. Their sworn enemy, at least they tell you, is a giant talking rat. You've never seen this giant talking rat, by the way. Your boss tells you that the whole purpose of your job is some kind of rat turtle feud. And you're like, okay, I'll keep showing up for work then, I guess. And so there definitely, when you work for the Foot Clan, there's zero health and dental benefits for this job, despite the fact that your entire job description is almost exclusively getting punched in the face by enormous mutant turtles. The office is like some enormous Google Hangout lounge with a half pipe and pinball machines and shit like that. But your coworkers are just the biggest bunch of sketchy misfit loser teenagers that New York City has to offer.
True story.
You can't leave your stuff in the break room because somebody is definitely going to steal it from you. And I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. Your uniform looks like a GIMP outfit. You get paid in stolen television.
And it's henchmen, really, truthfully, when it comes right down to it. I know you're specifically talking about these ones because of the giant rat and the mutant turtles.
Yeah, but at least I get like in a 80s action movie, right?
Where do you get it? Because I've never understood it.
No, because I know that at least they're paying you in cash. Right? That's the motivation. Whether it's a good idea to accept the job or not, I can understand being like, what's the job? Well, you need to protect the boss. How do I do that? Well, you have to wear a suit for some reason, even though that's impractical, and carry a machine gun. Well, am I going to get killed? Probably, but we're going to pay you really, really, really well in case you don't. Be like, all right, I'll risk it, I guess, right? But the Foot Clan, you're just like, how do I get paid? Stolen stereos and shit? Like I can't pay my rent with that. So I got to live at the clubhouse with the other ninja kids. Fuck that.
Oh, it's so good. I have probably waited 80 hours to talk about this particular film, and we're finally getting to it. You have finally picked a bottom 5 where I can talk about 1989's The Abyss.
Yes, it is.
My favorite film for 30 plus years until maybe the past 10 or so where it started to lose ground. Working on an oil rig thousands of feet below the Atlantic Ocean surface already means living under constant pressure, physical and psychological. You're cut off from the surface, dependent on machines, and one mistake away from catastrophe, being just smashed like a paper cup into nothingness.
Yeah.
Then your employer informs you that your crew will also be hosting a Navy SEAL team investigating a sunken nuclear submarine. And suddenly, your job includes corporate obedience, military escalation, and a looming possibility of nuclear disaster underwater. So, This job is a hellscape. Working on this movie apparently was one of the worst jobs in cinema. I remember that pretty much everybody that's ever worked with Cameron has said that whatever that shoot was the worst shoot that they were a part of. Ed Harris will not even do interviews about The Abyss. He won't talk about it. It almost ended his career after he nearly drowned. Cameron himself nearly drowned and was reportedly very abusive during production, just as he was with Terminator 2, where the crew was seen wearing T-shirts that said Terminator 3, not with me. So Cameron's a prick. He's still making huge truckloads of money. And yes, this was my favorite film for 30 years. The Abyss. I finally get to talk about it.
Have you ever, you must have, because it's your favorite movie. The scene where there is a hand that wipes the lens with a paper towel?
Yeah, Mikhail Solomon, during the scene where Lindsay, played by Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio, is going to intentionally drown and Ed Harris is going to have to drag her back. That scene is so unbelievably intense.
The big scene.
That there's this quick moment where the cameraman actually wiped off the lens and they used that take and didn't even digitally alter it. And it is somehow not at all distracting in any way. That's how fucking good the actors are.
Yeah, your brain washes it right out. It's unbelievable. I've seen that scene not nearly as many times as you, but I've seen that scene enough that I should have noticed somebody wiping off the lens in a major motion picture, and I didn't until it was pointed out to me.
In the special edition of the film, when the giant tidal wave comes up, and they actually have the real ending to the movie that didn't come out in theaters originally, there's a scene of a whole crowded beach of people looking up at the giant tidal wave that's there about to crush them all. And they're all staring at it because it stopped. And in the wide shot, one guy runs over to another guy and pulls his pants down and there's a bare ass.
Whoa.
In the shot. It's in the special edition of the film. I don't know what was going on in The Abyss, but I still love it though.
Well, we're at my number one, and this is, I think, a foregone conclusion. This is one of those, I know I say this from time to time. It seems like if we don't have a certain thing on our bottom fives, it sort of invalidates our entire effort.
Okay.
So I think I have us covered with this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Being the winter caretaker of the Overlook Hotel.
Has it ever occurred to you that I have agreed to look after the Overlook Hotel until May the 1st?
Is this not on your list?
It's not, but I have a winter caretaker.
Worse than this one?
Yeah.
Because, whoa.
Worse than this one.
Well,
first of all,
great.
You're right. I mean, that is absolutely worthy of a number one for sure.
Yeah.
Ghosts, haunting, alcoholism, phantom alcoholism. I don't know.
Yeah. Just being locked in an enormous hotel buried in snow, slowly losing your mind because ghosts or alcohol ghosts or ghost alcohol. I don't know which one it is. The movie's not sure. It's better that we don't know, but holy shit. Thanks, but no thanks.
Oh man. Quality choice. Absolutely a shit job.
All right. Now let me ask you a question because I want to get real here for a second.
Yeah.
Taking your family and locking yourselves in this enormous hotel for the winter.
Yes.
Hard pass, right?
Okay,
Hard pass.
Sure.
But if somebody was like, hey, what if it's just you? Like, how about just you go for the winter by yourself in this hotel? None of that dad stuff. None of the husband stuff. It's just kind of a couple months locked away, buried in snow alone where nobody can bother you. Even if I thought there were ghosts, I might do it.
You might do it? I'd be there in a heartbeat as long as my wife would let me.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be out of there. I'd be like, yep, I'm going to be there for the winter. See you in April.
Does this make us bad fathers? Does it make us bad husbands that we are so ready to be like, no, I'll go bury myself in snow for the winter alone?
It makes us worse than bad. It makes us completely average.
Oh, great.
Oh, well. My winter caretaker at number one. It's the lighthouse keeper. I mean, it has to be the lighthouse. I know we talked about it for our bottom five islands.
Yeah, it's the only reason it wasn't on my list.
Poor Robert Pattinson. On paper, lighthouse keeping might sound lovely. and manageable, but in practice, it's a claustrophobic black and white descent into madness paired with a completely unhinged Willem Dafoe who smells like farts, brine, and I don't know what else. Now you add relentless winter storms, isolation, power struggles, alcohol poisoning, possible sea god curses, and a creeping Lovecraftian dread that may or may not be real. While watching this movie, you can actually feel the biting, wet, cold, the rot, the dampness. I feel like I can smell the farting. This place is actively hostile to sanity. The Lighthouse is my number one. How could it not be?
Right. Yeah. It's a hard film to say like, hey, you know what I want to do with the next couple of hours of my life?
Yeah.
I want to go visit the lighthouse. Like, no, I don't. I don't want to visit the lighthouse. And because the movie is so effective, you feel like you are going to the lighthouse and you do not want to be there for all of the reasons that you just said. I can smell the farts. I don't want to go anywhere where I can smell the farts. Jason, at the start of the year, we usually would play a game at this point in our show, but we unfortunately have to take a detour here and do a Kick Two, Pick Two, a segment where we want to look back at a filmmaker that we have lost or an actor that is no longer with us and kind of revisit some of the best of their career. And tragically, sadly, at the end of 2025, we lost Rob Reiner under circumstances that are just unthinkable. And I don't know that I want to talk a lot about that, but I do want to talk a lot about his filmography because Rob Reiner was one of those directors that, like, everybody, when you talk to them about their favorite movies, somewhere on that list is some Rob Reiner film.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those kind of directors. He did so many different things, such variety. His final film was Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. And what a kind of beautiful final swan song, I guess you could say, for a director revisiting beloved material and I think making a fun flick out of it. So we're going to do our Pick Two, Kick Two for our Rob Reiner films.
Great idea.
It's not going to be easy because some of his best films are some of everybody's favorite films. And so the ones that I have chosen for us to highlight this time are the ones that you might expect. Of course, this is Spinal Tap. The Princess Bride.
Jeez. Yep.
When Harry Met Sally. And for the fourth, maybe I'll throw it to you. Misery.
Is it Misery? Is it Stand By Me?
Or A Few Good Men?
Few Good Men.
Stand By. Maybe I'm going to give this one to you. Which one? Make it as hard as possible.
Oh, make it as hard as possible?
As hard as possible.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. Okay. So this is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me.
Oh my God. No.
What do you do?
I don't.
It's
no, I mean, I we're at a point where I can't play this game. I don't think there's no right answer. It's only opinion. And now you're just grading the love of movies that you have. And it's not When Harry Met Sally for me out of these four. I love that movie. I think it's a terrific film.
Yeah, I only caught up with it for the first time a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so this was a movie that had lived in my brain by its reputation. And I thought there's no way it's going to be as good as I've heard it, especially for a comedy, right? When you've heard about how funny something is, almost naturally you don't laugh at it. And goddamn, if I didn't just go head over heels for this movie when I caught up with it.
It's the chemistry
great.
Between those two actors. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan are phenomenal together. Meg Ryan was one of those, like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. That's Meg Ryan in that film. That bubbly, fun, neurotic mix.
You see? That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I hate you, Harry. I really hate you.
So we're left with The Princess Bride, Stand By Me,
and This Is Spinal Tap.
And This Is Spinal Tap. Oh my God. I just watched Stand By Me maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
It's interesting. I wasn't sure where you would land on Stand By Me. I had a hard time figuring out, like, is that a film Jason's going to love or a movie Jason really doesn't like at all? Sometimes,
no, I love it.
Adaptations of King material can be one way or the other.
That was one of the first that I think really nailed King's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Carrie was very, very good. And of course, The Dead Zone was outstanding. But there was something about Stand By Me that really represented the nostalgia factor that King inserts into a lot of his stories, sort of a precursor to some of the better parts of it.
Yep.
It's a wonderful story. It's got phenomenal actors. It's a River Phoenix performance. We don't have many of those. So you always want to take that into account when you're making a cut. I think that it is such a precious moment in time with, oh man, there's even Richard Dreyfuss on as the grown-up version of Will Wheaton's character. I can't cut that film, I don't think. So
Spinal Tap and The Princess Bride, you've got to get rid of one
I know,
of
I've got to get rid of one of them. I think I have to cut The Princess Bride. I think I got to go with Spinal Tap and Stand By Me for me. Yeah,
wow.
I think it's probably those.
For me, this is Spinal Tap and The Princess Bride.
I
don't want to live in a world
it
without.
Is. Yeah.
I think so, but when we take a step back, and that's the purpose of doing this exercise, is to really think about, like, what would you be leaving behind? Stand By Me and Harry Met Sally. And so it's such a testament to the director that Reiner was and the storyteller that he was. And I don't know that he gets enough credit for some of the choices that he made as a director. Even I think sometimes about Harry Met Sally and the deli scene, right? And what is that scene? We have Meg Ryan, right? And she's having this fake orgasm in the deli. But what that movie doesn't do, it never ends on the beat where you think it should end. He holds the camera for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. We see the reaction of the people in the deli. It could end there. It doesn't, right?
No.
And so, and where the scene ends is, of course, right, I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
This incredible line spoken by Rob Reiner's mother. And there are just so many outs in that scene that I think a lesser director might have taken, and he just doesn't. And it's not flashy and it's not showy, but it gets the laugh one after the other after the other. He takes one scene and he just mines additional laughs where maybe they wouldn't have been there otherwise. And I think that each one of his movies has such a voice, right? This is Spinal Tap is a formative film for me. Often credited, of course, with like inventing the mockumentary, more or less. But each one of those movies is so singular in the thing that it's doing. Rob Reiner didn't have like a type necessarily. He made all of these different movies. And so, for me, it's going to be This is Spinal Tap and Princess Bride. But I think this is maybe the hardest one we've had to do.
Yeah, I would probably say so.
Well, I want to hear from our audience. Of course, we all were brokenhearted to hear of Rob Reiner's life being cut short. But I want to know what everybody's kick two is for this one, because if it's as hard for you as it is for me, I think that's interesting. And so drop us a line, Mike at filmjitsu.net, Jay at filmjitsu.net. Hit us up on the socials, leave us a voicemail, visit Jay at work and kind of make a scene, whatever it is. But we want to hear from you. What is your kick two for Rob Reiner?
Mike, normally when I pick something for you, there's a pretty clear through line. It's a genre you hate, a tone that might be grating to you, a star that maybe you distrust or maybe you love, but I want you to now distrust. But for this episode comes a pick from a place of just, I think pure cinematic whiplash is the only way that I could describe it. Because the director behind your next film is someone whose career defies logic or categorization, and at times, I think, even basic human sanity. We're talking about the one and only Takashi Miike.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. A filmmaker who can pivot without warning from restrained psychological horror to cartoon ultraviolence, from operatic cruelty to children's musical absurdism. Sometimes seemingly from one movie to the next. This is the same man who gave the world Audition, a slow burn domestic drama that mutates into one of the most punishing horror finales ever put on screen. The same director responsible for Ichi the Killer, a movie so aggressively violent it practically dares you to keep your eyes open. And yeah, also the man behind The Happiness of the Katakuris, which is a claymation adjacent musical about a doomed family inn, because of course it is. So with that resume in mind, you might expect something grim or brutal or enchanting. Instead, I've chosen something else. Your assignment is As the Gods Will.
Oh.
A movie that feels like it was engineered in a lab to answer this question. What if Battle Royale, Squid Game, and a children's game aisle at Toys R Us had a nervous breakdown altogether? This is a high school death game movie where giant Dorama dolls, Lucky Cats, and other cheerful icons preside over mass slaughter. The tone whiplashes constantly from slapstick to nihilism, from candy-colored absurdity to sudden ugly violence, and it does so with absolutely no concern for your comfort.
You took Takashi Miike and put him in a blender and put all the stuff into one movie. Oh, yep. Wow.
Yep. And that floating Daruma head, the grinning red execution god kicking all this off, also gave us our bottom 5 for the next episode. Because when a children's wish doll becomes an agent of death, it really drives home one eternal truth. Dolls are nightmares. So our next bottom 5 is going to be the bottom 5 dolls in cinema.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Yeah. And no, we can't talk about He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Right. Okay.
It's going to make it a lot harder.
You know what? Dolls feels deceptively easy. And I know it's going to be super hard and fun to do. I'm going to challenge myself to try to dig a little below the surface because there's a couple that sort of instantly come to mind.
Yep.
And I'd like to sort of recognize them. And I want to try to come up with a list that is as maybe off the beaten path as the gods will, because I haven't seen that film. And you somehow have managed to describe a Takashi Miike film in a way that is still surprising to me, even though I know what I know about that guy. So holy hell. When you gave me his name, I'm sitting here in like dread, like which one of his movies is going to be the one. And you managed to be like, oh, it's the all-star game of Takashi Miike films.
It's is, all of them. Yep. It's all of them.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about for that film. Yep. It's not 3 hours long, is it?
It's very short. If I'm not mistaken, it's a quick watch that feels unbelievably long.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited about this one. It is very rare on our show that we get a film that was made by a director that is this fascinating. And I think some of our best discussions come out of movies that are made by really singular visionary directors.
Like
Takashi Miike is absolutely kind of right.
Right. Fair.
Kind of. And so I'm up for this. I'm excited about it. What a weird way to start off the year. So As the Gods Will, Takashi Miike.
Mm-hmm. And after that, we'll be talking about our bottom 5 dolls. But until then, we have been your hosts. I am Jay.
And I am Mike.
And we'll see you next time.
Stalno mislim na te, hoću znat sve kate, vježbaću sate i sate. Karate, vježbaću dok zadnji mi kjaj, zastane izađe.
When we watch bad films, we're always trying to find some little glimmer of something to talk about, right? Like where is the
Olivia Williams was it.
Was it? Okay. All right.
She was nude and it was great.